I've come over to Troon North Golf Club to speak to Bri Kenny, who is the Manager of Environmental Science for Troon Golf, not only in the Scottsdale and Arizona region, but across North America, to talk about not only water conservation, but biodiversity and habitats. Bri took me on a twilight tour of Troon North Golf Club. Although not originally from the region, she admits to having an infatuation with the desert and its diverse array of plants and animals.
I didn't grow up in the desert. I came from the Midwest in the United States, so I call this the home that I chose because I was just, I guess, infatuated with the desert ever since I was young, and then I moved out here and kind of fell.
What is it about the desert? I mean, why infatuated with it? What is it?
Gosh, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's very unique. You're never gonna, you don't see saguaros anywhere else in the world, and to see them on the horizon. And when you typically think of a desert, you think brown, dead, but this is the greenest desert in the world, so they say. And it's just the diversity out here with the plants, the trees, the wildflowers. I never even knew that existed in a desert. So it's been really fun to just learn all the plants, learn all the animals. And it's a lot more fun because a lot of things in the desert are meant to hurt you. So it's kind of fun to learn not to touch the pokey things or the animals because they can sting you, unlike other places in the country. With the golf courses, you do end up getting a little bit more diversity of habitat because you have the native desert, but then you have the turf grass system mixed in, and that can attract different animals. And then you usually have a water body accompanied, and water basically attracts everything in the desert. Yeah, you can actually get a lot more diversity around the golf course than you would, say, the adjacent desert or an adjacent developed area. So they kind of become these interesting melting pots, or I say outdoor labs, just to see how wildlife survive.
You've got a passion for birds. You've got your binoculars with you today.
Yeah.
So what are you spotting? I mean, what kind of tell us about the birds that you find here at Troon North and other desert courses?
Oh yeah. Well, there's always some hawks flying around. I don't know if we'll see any, but those, of course, birds of prey are fun. We've actually got a species called the Harris's hawk that hunt in packs like wolves, and they're the only bird of prey to do that, so they're very fun to watch.
And what do they hunt?
Well, they will take the desert cottontails, which is great because we have a lot of those, the ground squirrels, basically anything, but I think they kind of prefer those smaller mammals. I've even had some eating a kill right outside my front door at my house sometimes, and it's usually like a little rabbit or something like that. But yeah, and there's all kinds of birds. The greater roadrunners are one of my favorites. If you've never seen Gambel's quail, those are really cute, especially when they have babies because they have little floofs on the top of their head. Gosh, yeah. I mean, everyone always asks me what's my favorite bird, and I just say whatever one's in front of me because there's something unique and something to appreciate about all of them.
And it's an indication as well of the health of the ecosystem.
Yeah, they're kind of like the cheat sheet for ecosystem health, just because birds occupy so many different niches. They're eating so many different things, from plants to insects to other animals. If you have that diversity of bird species, it can give you, especially when you're like me visiting for a short period of time, that can be the quickest way to get an indicator of the overall health of the area. And I think that's one of the things that attracts golfers is you are so close to the city, but you get this awesome dose of nature out here. And it can even be a safari sometimes. You'll see, there's videos that pop up online of the bobcats hunting a rabbit or a coyote, and it's almost like you're seeing planet Earth or a wildlife safari in front of your face. But I think a lot of people are drawn to that because just having these natural sounds and landscapes is very calming for people.
It didn't take us long before we came across one of Bri's favourite birds, the roadrunner. Bri, we've just seen a roadrunner just from the side of the cart path. You particularly like them. They're there. I mean, I remember them from watching cartoons when I was a kid, and there it is, out on the path up ahead. What do you like about the roadrunners?
I mean, they're just like, you do think they're dinosaurs when you look at them. They're just mini dinosaurs, and they're such good hunters. They make really cool noises. They're fun to watch. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If you don't like roadrunners, I kind of feel like you're crazy because, yeah, they're very entertaining.
Are there many here?
Yeah, there's a lot. Gosh, yeah, they're all over. Even when I used to work on the course about a mile south of here, Troon Country Club, they would raise babies close to our putting green. So I would get to see the babies grow up every year, which was a lot of fun, and learn how to hunt on the golf course and things like that.
And did you help protect those nesting areas?
Yeah, it was kind of an area where we knew they would be, so make sure. And luckily, it was a spot that wasn't too popular for people to walk. They were smart and put it off to the side. But yeah, just kind of, and I would talk to the members about it and just say like, hey, the roadrunner's always hanging out here because the babies are right there. So yeah, if they chose wrong and put it a little bit more of a public space, we probably would have put some barriers up just to make sure nothing happened.
It wasn't just the wildlife catching my eye in the desert. I was fascinated with the profusion of native plants and wondered how much work went into managing these areas.
It's really nice when you have a good mix of native species because that is going to attract pollinators, even the pollinators you don't see. One of the things about the desert is you have a lot of ground or solitary bee species. So you don't necessarily see them unless you're digging around like I sometimes do. They're not the honeybees that you typically think of, but we support a good number of just native bee species, butterflies, moths. And that's just because you have these types of native plants sprinkled throughout the desert. If you spend enough time just staying still, you'll see how active these are all day long, just with different species visiting them.
How much work goes into managing native species and perhaps bringing them back into these areas?
So it kind of depends. One of the things about Troon North is they actually have these dedicated areas called natural area open space, and the rules for those are don't do anything. So you kind of just let them be unless you get a lot of invasive species, or if you had a storm event and you want to remove debris. So those are pretty, we call them low maintenance. Other areas such as like around the tee boxes where you have good native species but you want to be mindful of line of play would usually require a little bit more maintenance because you're just kind of cleaning up the area a little bit more. You might do some more trimming, so that those would be, medium or higher maintenance. And then when you're trying, say you do a turf removal and you're trying to reestablish the native vegetation, native cacti, those usually require a little bit more effort the first couple years just to help them establish their root system and things like that. So you might water them, favor them a little bit more, and then once they get going, you can kind of scale back your effort towards them.
For golf courses not in this region, not in the desert, there's always a lot of out of play areas. Do you see opportunities there to do more, perhaps with pollinators, introducing native plants that may have disappeared from those areas?
Absolutely. I think the out of play areas should be more utilized for those purposes of the golf course. One of the ones I worked at in Wyoming, we were lucky. Their old turf nursery, they didn't need it anymore, so we took out the turf and we replaced it with a lot of native species, and we got lucky that actually on a bird walk, there happened to be the local nature club was on the bird watching walk, and then they heard about the revegetation project, and so they came and donated their own seeds, donated their expertise on how to plant everything to make it successful long term. So I think the more golf courses can utilize those out of play areas, the more species they'll benefit.
And that's another example of engaging with the community, bringing people in who can, see what golf's doing, but using their expertise as well.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell superintendents, like, don't get too over the top with thinking that you have to have these really detailed projects or things. Just start with one project, because you never know who's going to show up to that one project, and usually that will kind of snowball into other ones. Just like that, we did one simple bird watching walk, And other people in the community were immediately like, I've never been on the golf course before, and I want to help you with this, and I want to help you with that. So yeah, if you can just do one project with the community, you never know what will come from that.
As the sun set over Troon North, we were treated to one of the great wildlife spots in the desert, a bobcat prowling across a fairway, although I wasn't quick enough to pick it up on camera. What have we seen, Bri?
We just saw a bobcat going across the fairway right at sunset, so kind of just like, one of those magical nature moments.
And what would bobcats be hunting for out here?
Well, they definitely love the desert cottontail rabbits because there's a lot of them around, so that's probably one of their biggest ones. They're opportunistic, so if they do find, like a nest and some eggs, they'll do that as well. But I think kind of the ground squirrels, those smaller mammals, are kind of their, what would you say, staple of their diet.
Join me next time when I meet Greg Trias and Katie Prendergast from the Arizona Alliance for Golf. We find out how clubs and courses join forces to speak up on golf's economic, social, and environmental benefits to the state.